And Mr. Cox, if you would like to sit in one of these chairs here next to your client, you can. You're all still in things, you probably have to see like that. If I'm on Tuesday, 1920. Yeah. Ready?
Ready?
Yes.
All rise for the jury.
Please, approach briefly. All right, we are on the record. So both the state and the defense have no objections with letting you know that the witness who's sitting here, the person who's sitting there is actually his attorney, Mr. Cornelius Cox. All right, just so you all know, in case you're wondering who that was. I know that I've told you time and again, sometimes students come in here and sometimes other people come in here just to view things, but he's actually here because he's his attorney. All right, state, call your next witness.
The state calls Versa Austin, Your Honor.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Sir?
Yeah.
All right, you may lower your hand. And if you'll state your name for the record.
Versa Austin.
All right, state.
Thank you, Judge. And Mr. Austin, to make sure that this microphone, if you just speak into it, if you need to, you don't have to get too close to it, but just make sure you speak up so that everybody can hear you. Okay, sir? I mean, you have to answer out loud. Is that okay? Sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, do you go by a nickname? Juicy. And that's how most people know you, is that correct? Yes, yes, sir. And do you live in San Antonio? Yes, sir. You live over there close to East Moto's apartment plex? Yes, sir. And what do you do over there, sir? We just walk around, hang around. And I've spoken with you before at your house, is that right? Yes, sir. And I spoke to you about a shooting. Do you recall that? Yes, sir. And do you remember that day of that shooting? Yes, sir. And do you remember being present when the shooting happened?
Excuse me, sir. You need to answer the question. You want to re-ask your question?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Austin, do you recall being present during the shooting?
Mr. Austin? Mr. Austin? Mr. Austin, you need to answer the question. It's either yes or no. State, re-ask your question.
Mr. Austin, do you recall being present during the shooting?
Nope.
Okay. Mayor Petron?
Yes.
I want to show you what's marked. If you don't mind, move your hat. State exhibit number 19. Who's in that picture?
That's me.
State exhibit number 20. Who's in that picture?
That's me.
State exhibit number 21. Who's in that picture?
Me.
Okay. And we're gonna state exhibit number 9. Mr. Austin, are you familiar with this this video here?
Yes, sir.
Started at 15:42:38. Mr. Austin, if you please look at the video and tell me if you recognize the individuals walking past the trash can right now, walking down the sidewalk on the left of this video.
Nope. None of them. I'll stay in one spot too long.
I'm sorry, Dad?
I'll stay in one spot too long. I move around.
I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't hear it.
Can you repeat that, please?
I do not stay in one spot. I do not stay in one spot at all. I move around.
Okay. You move around. So somebody else said that you were in this video, they'd be wrong?
Yeah, I was in the video, but when I hear gunshots, I don't stay in one spot.
I'm sorry, did you say if you hear gunshots?
When I hear gunshots, I don't stay in one spot. I move around.
So if you hear gunshots, you move around.
Yep.
That's smart. If you look at the video again, can you tell me if you see yourself in it? Your Honor, may I?
Yes.
Using this highlighter, I'm gonna point to somebody.
Yes.
Do you recall who that is?
That's me.
That's you in the video.
Sorry, but
Sort of standing close to that barbecue pit or trash can. Is that right, sir?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna start it at the video. The next video is 15:45:07. You're still standing in the same spot, is that correct?
Yep.
Do you see a person? Do you know an individual by the name of Kino?
Why you ask me these questions?
Excuse me, sir. You are just to listen to the question and answer the question. You're not allowed to ask questions. Do you understand? All right, ask your question.
Do you know an individual by the name of Kino? Sir, Mr. Austin.
Just one moment. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have you step outside for just 2 minutes, please. Everyone, please rise for the jurors. All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, state it's your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Austin, as jury went out, I was asking you a question. You know an individual by the name of Keno?
No, sir.
You don't? So, did you speak with me at your house, Mr. Austin,
Yes, sir.
on your porch?
Yes, sir.
And your mom was there, right?
Sir.
Her name's Maggie.
Yes, sir.
You remember talking to me about this shooting in front of her?
I told you, when I move, when I move, when I be in a neighborhood, I'm telling you, I was staying one, I do not stay in one spot, I moved around when I hear shooting. That's it.
Mr. Austin, can you look at me? Do you recall talking about this shooting with me on your front porch?
I don't know.
Is that a lie, Mr. Austin?
I say I don't know.
So you don't recall me being on your front porch?
Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered.
Overruled.
Sir, do you recall me being on your front porch?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall us speaking about the shooting? Sir, do you recall us talking about the shooting?
No, sir.
You don't. Do you recall telling me who did the shooting?
I told you, when I hear shootings, I don't stay in one spot.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I told you, when I hear gunshots, I don't stay in one spot.
That indicates that you were at the shooting, sir. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I left though.
Yeah, you did leave after the shooting. Correct?
No,
So when did you leave?
I left before the shooting started. I left.
So if I have a video showing you running from the scene after the shooting, would that video be a lie? Sir, would that video be a lie? Sir, would that video be a lie?
Yes, sir. I left. I left before the shooting started.
I'm gonna show you what state exhibit number 9 again, a different angle of the video. We're gonna start it at 15:49:00. Sir, I'm sorry, call you.
And defense, you're welcome to move around.
Yes, Judge, we're okay for right now.
Sir, can you please look at the video? Do you need to move closer? Sir. Would you like to move closer so you can view the video? You've seen this video before, haven't you? Have I shown you this video? And did you ID yourself in that video? That you witnessed the shooting? Can you tell the jury why you won't answer? Your Honor, the state would move it to evidence state exhibitor 19, 20, and 21. We'll tender to defense for any objections.
We have no objections, Your Honor.
And that's 19, 20, and 21.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, those exhibits are admitted without objection.
Mr. Austin, or go by Juicy, is that correct? Sir?
Mr. Austin, you need to answer the question. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
On state exhibit number 19, it's been entered. That is you in that photo, is that correct?
Yes,
That's you leaving after the shooting from the parking lot, is that correct?
I left before the shoot. I left before the shooting started. I left.
So the video is a lie? That's a question.
I'm gonna object to the form of the question.
Your Honor, this.
All right, that objection will be overruled.
Thank you. That video is a lie then, is that correct? Is that what you're telling this jury? Sir, can you answer the question, please? Was that video a lie? Or are you lying right now?
Nope.
So the video is a lie? Or are you lying? Which one?
You know, I used to be in special ed, man. You know, I slow reason. Hell, man.
Mr. Austin, do you recall talking to me on your front porch? You were not acting like this. Do you recall that? Do you recall that, sir? Sir, do you recall that? May I propose to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Austin, I'm gonna ask you. Did you see Keno shoot somebody that day?
Nope.
Are you lying?
Nope.
So the video lies, is that correct?
I told you I don't stay in one spot.
Excuse me?
I do not stay in one spot.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I do not stay in one. I do not stay in one spot. Told you I move around. When I move around, I don't stay in one spot.
After the shooting, you came back to the scene. You recall that?
Nope. I didn't come back to see him. I left.
So you didn't come back, is that right?
Nope.
Well, because one of the state exhibits that are in the hands of the jury right now shows a body cam, you standing at the corner less than 20 feet away from Avante Boyce that was laying there dying. Do you recall that? Do you recall holding the baby of Avante Boyce in your hands when Evie gave him to you? Do you recall that? You are not answering questions because why? Explain that to the jury. State exhibit number 9 at 14:49:13. If you're viewing the video, sir, please. Do you see yourself? Sir, do you see yourself in the video?
Mr. Austin? Mr. Austin, you need to answer the question. Do you understand? All right, just give me a moment. If we can have the jury step out just for a couple of minutes. All right, everyone, please be seated. And state you can continue with your questions.
Thank you, Judge. I'll try to be brief here. Mr. Austin, one, I'll ask you again, do you know who Keno is?
Yes, sir.
You do? And is that person here in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Can you please point him out and identify article of clothing he's wearing?
Uh,
I'll ask you this question. I'll withdraw that question. I'm gonna ask you this question. What did you see Keno do that day of the shooting?
do I have to answer that question?
Yes. All right, state, re-ask your question.
What did you see Keno do that day?
I ain't seen him do nothing.
Did you tell me something different?
I ain't seen him, I ain't see, I ain't seen him do nothing that day. I was like, that was like, man, oh Lord.
I'm gonna show you state exhibit number 9 again. If you can please view it and tell me if you can identify yourself in it. Sir, can you please look at state exhibit number 9, the video? Is that you?
Yes,
This is at 15:50:00. Go ahead, please. Keep on looking back, is that right? You're leaving the parking lot, is that right?
yes, sir.
Mr. Austin, do you know whose car that is? Simple question, sir. Do you know whose car that is?
Yes,
Whose is it?
that's my homeboy's mother's car.
I'm sorry, you said your homeboy's mother's car, is that right?
Yes,
is your homeboy Keno? Sir, is your homeboy Keno?
I got a whole lot of homeboys.
Well, is one of your homeboys named Keno? State exhibit number 9 stopped at 155105. You know who that is, right? That was a question, sir.
Nope,
You don't know who that is?
nope.
Mark State exhibit number 11. Let's be a better view of that individual. You know who that individual is.
I know it, but
You do?
yep.
Didn't you hold her baby when she went to Boyce after he had been shot?
When I had the baby when she was out, when the baby was outside. We did not go in the building.
But that was after the shooting. Is that right? Is that correct, sir?
I told you I left before the shooting started.
I'm talking about after the shooting.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know. I'm going to show you what's been marked State exhibit number 20, and it has a time on it, 1555. 1555. Who's that? You already identified yourself in it, didn't you? Is that correct, sir?
Yes, me?
That's you walking back to the scene.
Nope. I did not walk back. No, I didn't go back to scene.
State exhibit number 21. That's you, isn't it?
That's me.
Standing outside where Avante is found, bleeding and shot. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense.
One moment, Judge. Sir, you don't know who did the shooting, do you?
Nope.
We'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Olson? Are you scared? No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Subject to recall, Your Honor.
At the statement once.
All right. The rule has been invoked. That means you cannot discuss your testimony with anyone. The only persons you can speak to are attorneys for the state or the defense. You need to make sure you're available in case you are recalled to testify. All right, you may step down. State, call your next witness.
State will call Carl Cunigan.
Right. And Mr. Cox, if you'll make sure that you're available if we need you.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, maybe approach.
Yes. Oh,
Thanks, you all approach.
ladies and gentlemen, if you would just give us 2 minutes, or do you need a break longer than that? All right, just 2 minutes, and remember my previous instructions, all right? Everyone, please rise for the jurors. Oh, everyone, please be seated. All right, and I believe this is Mr. Bonk's, the person he's been appointed to represent. So Mr. Bonk is on his way right now.
Who were we waiting on?
Oh, Mr. Bonk,
Oh, sorry. I didn't see
Charles, I'm sorry.
it. No, no, that's fine. I just didn't hear the name. There's a buzzing or a ringing. Y'all keep hearing that? Is that what it is? Ugh, it's annoying.
Yeah, just give us a moment. We're just waiting for Mr. Bonk to come over.
They're getting comfortable, Judge.
Okay,
I don't know, you could hear him.
yeah.
They're coming down the elevator.
Oh, no problem.
And the elevators, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, Charles is on his way too, so. Okay. Okay,
Okay, sorry, Judge.
no problem. Yeah, go ahead and mute us. You can mute us. Yeah. All right, everyone, please be seated. And so state, call your next witness.
The state calls Carl Cunigan.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as previously stated with the last witness, I inform you that Mr. Cox was representing that witness. The person here today, without objection from the state or the defense, letting you know, is Attorney Charles Bonk, and he's going to be representing this witness. All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that the jurors, the attorneys, and the court reporter can hear. All right, state.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Cunigan, can you please just tell the jury what you do for your living?
Right now I do maintenance, preventative maintenance at an apartment complex here in San Antonio.
And is that apartment complex East Meadows?
Yes, that's correct.
Does that include the Wheatley senior living?
Absolutely.
And that's located here in San Antonio on the east side, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in. March 31st, 2022, were you working that day?
Yes.
And did you look at some videos and did you witness the shooting that day?
Yes, I did.
Who did the shooting that day?
Who did the shooting?
Yes, sir.
Guy named Vernon King.
And does he have a AKA or a nickname?
Keno, that goes by Keno.
Do you see that individual in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir. I do.
Can you please identify him by article of clothing and point him out?
Sitting right here.
Let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant in this case, please. Now, I'm going to show you. Well, let me ask you this. You were working that day, and how do you get around the complex when you're working?
We get around through golf carts.
The golf cart. And what brought your attention to Keno and the people that he was with that day?
Well, I was on my way to one of the senior offices to talk with one of my fellow coworkers about an issue we had going on with some water leaks. And on my way there, I could hear some commotion. It was kind of loud, mostly women. So on my way there, once I made it to the senior facility, going into the gate, entering the gate, I can actually now see where the commotion is coming from. So I see females engaging in vulgar language and arguing, and it got a little physical or whatnot. So I was there kind of spectating, trying to see what was really going on or who was causing the confusion.
And so you stated that you were coming down the street. Do you remember what the name of that street was?
Yes, that was Hayes.
Hayes Street. And then did you turn into the parking lot of that complex?
Yes, I turned into the back parking lot of the senior facility, which is also half and half of the East Meadows.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked and entered in evidence already as state exhibit number 9. If you look at the screen here, I'm going to start this video at 15:48:00 and tell me when you see yourself.
Right now, entering the gate coming from the Hayes Street side in the golf cart.
And so this golf cart that you see entering on the right side of the screen, that would be you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And can you just say in the direction to the left of the, I guess I'm assuming you're all the way to the right, but where is this commotion that you heard about the loud commotion coming from?
The angle that I'm facing in the golf cart right now, the commotion will be coming from my right.
Okay. And is it near something that's identifiable in this video?
Yes, it is near the dumpster areas and the pavilion.
Okay. And that pavilion, is that an awning with picnic tables underneath it?
Yes.
And is there a vehicle parked, or I guess in this video, it looks like there's 2 vehicles parked near that pavilion. Is that correct?
Yes.
What's the vehicle that you can identify? Well, can you identify the vehicles in that video?
I see a red Chrysler and a black looking Mazda
And is the Chrysler like a car or SUV?
car.
Okay. And is that where the commotion is coming from?
Yes, that's where all of the commotion was centered.
And it seems like in this video right now, you're stopped. Is that correct?
Yes.
It seems like this time you're moving just slightly.
Yes, like still spectating to see what's going on and all the commotion.
Seems at that point you turn in to a parking spot, or where do you go?
I'm entering the back pavilion area of the senior facility.
And at that point, do you go? What do you do? Are you still watching, or what do you do?
Well, yes, as I turned in, my back was turned just for maybe 2 to 3 seconds, but as I continue to approach the back door of the maintenance area in the back behind the senior facility, I kind of turn so where I can see the commotion still.
And did you do anything at that point?
At that point, I felt like something was getting too hectic, so I immediately pulled out my phone and just like start recording.
Did you record, or did you take a
I think
photo?
I actually just took photos.
Okay. So- Now, I'll show you what's marked state exhibit number 22. Can you identify that?
Yes.
And what is that?
So this area is a little break area for the maintenance guys behind the senior facility right here. This is the back parking lot, and I see the red Chrysler 300 with Mr. King in a all white jumpsuit.
An all-white jumpsuit?
Yes.
And is that the same individual that you know as Keno?
Yes.
And this is a fair and accurate representation of the picture that you took that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state moves to enter into state exhibit number 22. Will tender to defense for any objections.
We have no objection.
All right, state's exhibit number 22 is admitted without objection.
Your Honor, maybe I publish it to the jury.
Yes.
I'm gonna show you what's marked state exhibit number 22. If been entered into evidence. Is this a table area? Is this the area that you were saying that's a little break area for maintenance and individuals?
Yes.
And then as I'm gonna zoom in on this photo. Right here, why I'm pointing. Is that the pavilion or the awning?
Yes.
And then I'm gonna point at this right here. What is that?
That is the Red Chrysler,
And then that, is that a person right there in all white?
yes,
And is that the individual you have identified as Keno?
yes.
And it looks like from this picture. Where's his arm?
Arm is kind of over.
Did you see Mr. Vernon, Keno with a gun that day?
Yes,
And did you see Keno shoot that gun into the car?
yes,
After he shot, do you recall what Keno did?
after he shot,
Yes, sir.
to me, apparently, if I can recall, it seemed like, the gun that, he had was handed off to someone else. And after that, I really can't remember all of it, but I do remember the part where the gun was handed off.
Mhm.
And everybody kind of was spreading out or whatnot, so that's kind of like when I kind of,
Okay. Do you recall if Keno got into 300 Chrysler or did he get in any other vehicle after the shooting?
after the shooting, there was another vehicle, kind of like a Mazda Saturn looking kind of car. That was the car that the assailant, left in.
And that particular vehicle, was that the vehicle that was shown in the video earlier?
Yes,
And did that vehicle, that SUV, did it leave the parking lot?
yes,
And were you still outside when it left the parking lot?
yes, I was still outside.
Could you hear anything coming from that vehicle?
Yeah, I heard some loud words being exchanged where it was very irate to where questions were asked like, why did you do this? Or I told you to come on, or and things of that nature. But I couldn't really hear it in plain sight, but
And was that a male voice or a female voice?
female.
Female voice? And where did that vehicle go then, as it passed by?
It exited out the gate, took a left, went south on Hayes.
Thank you, sir. We'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense.
Carl, my name is George Schaefer. I'm a defense lawyer, okay?
Yes, sir.
If I ask you a question that you do not understand, rather than try to answer it with something different, stop me and I'll rephrase it, okay? Okay. On the date that these events happened, you were asked to give a statement to the police.
Yes.
Do you remember who you gave that statement to?
I can't remember his name right off.
Okay. Did you talk to any of the police there at the scene?
No,
Now, you indicated that you were driving through the gate and you saw this commotion to your right, right?
correct.
And from where the gate is when you came in, did you already hear the commotion?
Yes,
Okay, and that was a bunch of women's voices you heard?
yes. When I first heard hearing the commotion, all I could hear was mostly women.
Okay. You can't recall anything they said or anything like that, can you?
No, sir.
Okay. Because they were pretty far away, weren't they?
Well, that was far, but I still can hear the pitch of a female voice.
I understand. From where you were in the golf cart to where the commotion was coming from, more than 100 feet?
No, I would say no.
How long do you think, what do you think the distance might be?
From where I was, as I entered the gate,
Yes,
from the commotion, I would say maybe 30 yards.
okay. So that's 90 feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point, you leave the area to enter the parking lot and you turn left to go to the back pavilion, right?
Correct.
So you're creating more distance then between yourself and what's going on.
Correct.
And may I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
You're still in the golf cart, right?
Yes,
And the golf cart is going forward, right?
yes,
And all this commotion is behind you, right?
right.
Well, aren't you watching where you're driving?
As I enter.
Yes.
As I enter to the back pavilion,
Yes.
like I said, I turned around maybe 2 seconds, but there's a small curve that once you go in, it's a small curve you go around, so when I turn to left, it turns me back into the direction I used to move.
So for a while, you can't see anything and then you turn and then you can.
Yes,
Okay. And now you're probably over 100 feet away.
correct.
Now, when you first started talking to the police there at the scene, okay? You were scared to talk to them, right?
I never talked to the police at the scene.
Okay,
I talked to the detectives, outside, away from the scene.
okay. Did you go down to the police station then to make a statement?
No, sir.
So whatever you told the police was there at the location?
Correct.
Okay. Now, when you saw the girls fighting, you didn't know who those girls were you? Did you?
That's correct. I did not know.
And I suppose to this day, you still don't know who they are.
Correct.
Now, you took that picture that's up there on the screen, right?
Yes,
And that was on your cell phone.
yes.
Well, how many people are in that picture?
Right now, I see one.
What happened to all the other folks that were out there?
They said scattered out.
So there may have been other people there, but you just don't remember how many or who?
Correct.
How long have you worked there at those apartments, by the way?
It'd be 4 years in, March.
And do you recall telling the police that some lady told the shooter to leave?
No, I do not recall it.
And do you recall anything that was said from the distance you were?
The only thing I recall hearing is, hearing a female voice say, "Why did you do that?"
I assume that you're a little bit fearful about being in court today.
Okay,
You're okay? Do you feel that by testifying today that it hurts your job or anything like that?
no, sir.
And you know who did the shooting?
Yes, sir.
And the gun was handed off?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I saw.
You know who the gun was handed off to?
No, sir.
You don't know if it was a man, a woman, or whatever.
Oh, yes, it was a male.
Do you know who that person was?
No, sir.
And I guess the last question I have, you indicated this defendant. Last name King,
I'm not sure, last name, but, I do remember, Bernie King or Dixon or something like that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it goes, I don't know if it's middle, first, last.
you also saw another short black male leaving the scene, correct?
So a black male?
Yes, sir.
No, I did not.
Didn't see someone wearing a yellow, white, and black striped shirt?
No, sir, I was, oblivious at the moment, no, I didn't.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry, sir, I did not notice,
Okay.
short.
Do you know who Juicy is?
I know the name, and I know the person, but I don't know his real name or where he lives or anything like that. But
Yeah, I
yes,
understand, but you know the short guy named Juicy, right?
yeah,
Was he there that day?
I didn't see him.
You know someone by the name of Fat Fat?
No, sir.
That's the witness, Your Honor.
Mayor, Your Honor.
Yes.
State Exhibit number 16. I didn't ask you this earlier. Do you know who that is?
Yes, the young man named Juice
The who?
goes by Juice.
That goes by Juicy. This individual on State Exhibit number 16. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
There are no further questions after, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excused by the state, Your Honor.
Excused by the defense as well.
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means is you can't discuss your testimony with anyone. The only persons you're allowed to speak to are attorneys for the state or the defense, and of course, your attorney. You understand?
Yes.
All right, you may step down.
Yes.
All right, if you all want to go outside briefly, and if you all can stretch in the box, they just need to take care of something briefly, and then they'll call their next witness.
State calls Elizabeth Pearl Barnes.
Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, just make sure you keep your voice up so that the jurors
okay,
and everybody can hear, all right? And ladies and gentlemen, again, without objection from state or the defense, Mr. Bonk is here because Mr. Bonk is her attorney today, all right? State.
Thank you, Your Honor. I guess first, your true name is Elizabeth Pearl Barnes, but would you like me just to, what can I call you?
Pearl.
Pearl, okay, that's what you go by?
Mhm.
All right.
Yes,
Let me ask you this, how are you related to the defendant in this case?
it's my son.
That's your son? And is that individual sitting to my left, over, wearing a striped shirt?
Yes,
Okay.
and I can see.
And that is your son, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, ma'am, I'm gonna ask you if you could go back to March 31st, 2022. What were you, well, particularly around when school gets out? What were you doing when school gets out around 3:30-ish or 3 o'clock, 3:15, somewhere in there? What were you doing at that point, if you recall?
Picking my grandkids up.
And your grandkids are, whose kids were those? Oh,
I got so many of them.
well, okay. Well, I mean, let me ask you this, just to be more direct. Were some of the kiddos belonging to your daughter, Jackie Dixon?
Yes,
Okay. And were you where do you take these children after you pick them up?
Jackie's.
And Jackie's?
And defense, if you would like to move around, you can.
Yes, we're okay for right now.
It's just,
Yeah, we're fine, Judge. Thank you.
I'm gonna show you, Ms. Pearl, State Exhibit number 8. And sorry, I had to wear glasses on me. Now, this is sort of a bird's eye view. This has been entered into evidence, and you see some circles on here. And this circle right here, it looks like it says Jackie, is that right?
Yes,
And is that where Jackie lives, in that apartment?
yes,
And that's off of Hayes Street, is that right?
yes,
And then the front door leads to Hayes, the back door leads to this parking lot, is that correct?
yes,
Okay. And who is, I'm unique to you,
my granddaughter.
your granddaughter, and she also lives over here, is that right?
Yes,
But in a different location.
yes,
And is it roughly this area right here where she lives?
it's I can't keep, yeah.
Yeah,
she
I'm
stays-
sorry. You know,
right.
that's where Jackie,
And she stays on, yes.
okay. And then if you look back here, you see a pavilion, a little
Yeah.
awning, is that right?
Mhm.
Okay. And does State Exhibit number 8, does that accurately show what that location and like look like? I'm sorry, sort of, that's that question. I'll withdraw that question and ask you this. This, what you see on your screen up here,
Uh-huh.
State Exhibit number 8, is that an accurate and fair representation of the apartments and who lives at those apartments?
Yes,
Okay. And on that particular day, when you picked up your grandkids and went to drop them off back over here, where did you park?
in the back, I drive around through the back, where you say that pavilion is?
Okay, so that would be in the back, would be in this area, is that correct?
Yes,
And so you pulled up in your vehicle. And what type of vehicle do you drive?
what can you think of? It's a Mars, I don't know. It's,
Is it a Mazda CX-7?
yes,
And it's like an SUV opposed to a car.
not a truck. yes.
I apologize for leading, but it might be a little quick. And you parked your vehicle back there, is that right?
Yes,
Okay. Ms. Pearl, I want to show you what's marked state exhibit number 12. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm not shaking it to it. Is this you in the vehicle? And is that you entering the parking lot there?
Yes,
And that's earlier in the day, is that right? When you're dropping off your grandkids?
yeah,
Okay. And then you go into the parking lot and park, is that right?
yeah, letting them all out, yeah.
Okay. State exhibit number 9. I'm gonna show you. It's playing at with. And if you're looking at state exhibit number 9, the video of that pavilion, you see a car approaching. That is in fact your car, is that correct?
Yes,
And in this video, you also see another vehicle close to your vehicle, but parked sort of, I guess, perpendicular to yours. Do you know whose car that is?
yes,
Whose car is that?
it's my son's.
Your son? And now watching the video, you can see individuals, little people, that your children getting out of your car, is that right?
Yes,
Okay. And do you exit your vehicle?
the exit, letting the kids out, yes,
Yeah, but did you get out of your vehicle? Do you recall that?
yes,
And is that you walking across right there?
yeah, and that's me.
Okay. I'll show you again, state exhibit number 9, but just a little bit different time. Your car is parked there. Do you know who else was at the scene at that day?
No, I wasn't really paying that much attention. I always get out and speak to my kids before I leave.
Well, your kid was there, or your child, Vernon Dixon, right?
Yes,
And is he the one wearing all white?
I guess.
What about in Unique? Was she there?
I didn't no, I didn't see all of them. I wasn't really paying no attention. I just got out and spoke.
Okay. But at this particular time, you're out there standing closer to that red 4-door 300 Chrysler vehicle.
Talking to everybody.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward it just a bit. Now, do you recall anybody getting in a fight or arguments that day?
Well, they always are, so I really didn't pay no attention.
Okay, but again, you're standing right there when all this is going on,
Yes,
and you're watching it, and you can see people going back and forth. Is that right?
but they always bickered, so I just took it as they were just fussing. That's all I did.
Okay. This particular point, pause it at 15:48:43. You see an individual in all white walking around that red car,
Yeah, but I can, nah,
and can you now identify that individual?
I don't know. You know what? I don't even know what he had on that day.
Who
I can't remember.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and show you this video, because on that particular day, you left that area with your son, Vernon Dixon. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay. But the person all in white gets in the vehicle, is that right?
Yes,
And do you know Avante Boyce? Or did you know him?
yes,
And was he there that day?
yes.
We're gonna go to state exhibit number 9 at 15:49:57. You're still at the scene, is that right? Did you
Yes,
see this? Sorry. Pause it. Did you see this individual that was on the ground crawling and then looks like got up and now is in the bushes over here to the right of the video? Do you see that person in the bushes there?
no,
Your Honor, may I step up?
Yes.
I'm gonna use this highlighter at the point. I'm pointing at this individual right here. See him in the bushes there?
uh-huh,
Do you know who that individual is?
him. Devontae.
Avante?
Mhm.
And you know Avante, what happened to him that day, right?
Not really.
Okay. Well, you know that he's not here any longer
I
with
know
us.
that.
But you're still over here, is that correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay. We're gonna continue to play it. Is that you entering your vehicle?
Yes,
And who enters the vehicle with you?
my son.
And was he wearing all white?
Yeah, that's him.
What was the conversation that did you have a conversation with him at that point?
Yeah, they were screaming.
Screaming?
Yeah, and I told him, come, go to the house, because I didn't know what had happened to him between my son and Devontae.
You didn't know
No,
about the shooting?
no,
You heard the shooting though.
yeah, but I didn't even try. I got ready to leave. I told him, come on, let's get out, go.
But you were sitting or standing
I
right
was
next to the
standing
car?
right there.
Okay. I'll show you what's marked state exhibit number 17. It's been entered into evidence already, ma'am.
Yes.
But is that your vehicle
that's my
exiting?
vehicle.
And is that Vernon Dixon's arm
Yes.
pointing out? And is your son's true name Vernon King Dixon?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you tell the jury? You said that I don't know exactly. You said that there was yelling or screaming, but were you yelling and screaming?
Oh,
Or
no,
who was yelling and screaming?
everybody fussing.
Okay,
You
but
know.
once you got into your vehicle with your son and drove away from the scene, was there any conversation at that point?
No, he was just crying. No,
I'm sorry, what was it?
no conversation. I just took on because he was upset, and I was trying to. Nobody wanted to tell me, and I didn't what happened, and he was crying, so I took him to the house. We sit out on the porch.
And is that house at 1507
That's
Hay
the
Street,
house.
right
Yes.
down the street from this location? Is that right? Okay. And is it your testimony that you don't know who shot Avante Boyce that day? I'm sorry, that's a no.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, they had gotten into it, but I can't say that. You know, he did it because I'd be lying, but I didn't know. I just heard the shot and I left. I just got back out of the way. And he started crying. I told him, come get in the car and go sit down so we could talk to him. I wanted to talk to him, see what happened.
And did y'all have a talk?
No, he was screaming and hollering.
He went talk to you, or?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll pass it.
Defense.
Good afternoon, Pearl.
Yeah.
My name is Adam LaHood. I'm a defense attorney.
Mhm,
Just have a few questions for you, ma'am.
mhm.
Your testimony, did you witness or see a shooting, personally see it?
No,
So is it fair to say that you do not know who shot Vontae Boyce?
no.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further, ma'am, no further questions. We'll pass the witness.
State?
No further questions.
Right. As far as the rule has been invoked, what that means is you can't discuss your testimony with anyone. The only persons you're allowed to speak to are attorneys for the state or the defense, and of course, your attorney. You understand? All right, thank you so much. You may step down. State, call your next witness.
State calls Belinda Boyce.
And Mr. Bach?
You are.
Oh, Norma, I put it. This is the date. Yeah, on that date. No, I mean, I'm just gonna see, and then if he doesn't, if you can contact pretrial services and talk to them and see what contact they've had. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can have a seat. Make sure you keep your voice up so that everyone can hear.
Okay.
All right, state.
Belinda, are you related to Avante Boyce?
Yes,
How are you related?
I am his mother.
Now, I want to take you to March 31st of 2022. Who was Avante living with at that time?
I was living with Alante,
Who else was living there?
Evie.
And now on March 31st, 2022, did Avante and Evie leave the home?
Yes,
While they were gone, did you get a chance to speak with Avante over the phone?
yes,
How many times did you speak with him?
2 times.
And did Avante have a cell phone at the time?
No,
Well, whose phone was he using to make those calls?
he was using Keno's phone.
And what was Avante like when you were talking with him on the phone? Like, was
He
he,
was giggly, like laughing, like he was having a good time or something.
now, did you miss a call from that phone number?
I did.
Now, what time of the day do you remember what time of the day you missed that phone call?
It was like afternoon, but like kind of like early afternoon. It
And
was still daylight.
so you did not answer the phone.
No, I missed the call. I didn't even hear the phone ring, and then I went to the phone, looked at it, and I'm like, oh, I missed the call, whatever. So I tried to call it back, and he didn't answer that time. Nobody answered. So I noticed I had a voicemail. It was like somebody had left a message. So that's when I tapped on the voicemail, and then I heard all this
You heard what, ma'am?
a whole bunch of yelling, get him, get him, get him. And so I immediately just hung it up, and I called his father and I said, get to the Wheatley courts now. And that was that.
We'll show you what smart is State's Exhibit number 10. Do you recognize this?
Yes,
What is it, ma'am?
that's the voicemail.
And is it on a CD?
Yes,
Now, have you marked the CD in any way?
that's my initials right there.
And is this a fair and accurate copy of the voicemail you received that afternoon?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit number 10 into evidence.
Objections, Your Honor.
All right, then state's exhibit number 10 is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish, Judge?
Granted.
Now, Belinda, do you recognize any of the voices on that voicemail?
Yes, sir. Can I ask Kira's voice on there?
Pass the witness.
Defense.
No, we have no questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excuse for the state.
All right, the rule has been invoked with a means that you can't discuss your testimony with anyone. The only persons you're allowed to speak to are attorneys for the state or the defense. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, you may step down.
Thank you.
State, call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor, the state calls Dominique Dixon Battle. Their first name is spelled IMUNIQUE. Dixon dash Battle.
Well, would you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You're gonna have to say yes or no.
Okay, yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. State.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss, your first name's Dominique Dixon Battle, is that correct?
Yes,
And are you the daughter of Vernon King Dixon?
I am.
And do you see him in the courtroom today?
I'm looking at him.
And can you just please point at him and identify an article of clothing he's wearing?
Daddy, put your hand up.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that she has identified the defendant in the case. And ma'am, I'm gonna go back and just jump right in. March 31st, 2022. Were you at your apartment?
Yes, I was.
And look on that screen to your right, ma'am, it'll pop up here shortly. Are you familiar with state exhibit number 8?
I am.
And is this the location of your apartment complex? In your apartment?
Yes,
And your aunt, Jackie Dixon, is just her apartment right here.
correct.
And then also in this back parking lot, is that a pavilion there that sometimes y'all hang out on or in?
Yeah,
And on March 31st, 2022, did you walk out to that pavilion at times?
I did.
And was your dad, Vernon Dixon, was he there also?
He was.
And was he, what vehicle was he driving or did he drive there? If you recall.
Around that time, he had a red car.
Would it be that a four-door 300 Chrysler?
Yeah, it had 4 doors.
I'm gonna show you what Smart City's in at number 4.
Yes,
Is that the vehicle?
yep, pretty much.
Okay. And was that vehicle parked out by that pavilion?
Yes, it was.
And do you know an individual, and I say your name incorrectly all the time, but Eva Lavana Lewis, or what you would consider?
I know what you're trying to say, yes.
Okay, and is that a person that the defendant in this case considers like a stepdaughter?
That's his daughter.
And was she there that day?
She was.
And was her boyfriend Avante Boyce there also?
He was.
And did they, if you know, did they arrive with the defendant?
As far as I know, I did not see them when they pulled up, but as far as I know.
But those individuals were there when you
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
Okay.
Just 1 second, I'm sorry. So the job can be easier for the court reporter, just wait until he finishes the question, then answer, because otherwise it makes it more difficult for her to take down everything that everyone's saying.
Okay.
All right, State,
Thank you, Judge. And then, ma'am, was there other individuals also there that day?
Correct.
And was your well, rather, I think your husband, was he there that day?
Correct.
And what is his name?
Donald.
And does he also go by Ray sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay. And is the last name Neely? You just gotta answer out loud.
Yes.
Thank you. So, I mean, other things transpired that day. Did you ever have an argument with what I'll call Evie? Do you call her Evie or what do you call her?
Evian?
Evian, okay. Did you ever have an argument with her?
I did.
And did you actually have a physical confrontation with her?
I did.
And your sister, Raymanisha, was she there also?
She was.
And was she part of that?
She actually, and I'll quote what she got in my face. I mean, what are you doing? We just lost family members. Leave her alone. Get off of her. How can I get off her when she has my hair?
Okay. So y'all were in a physical.
Me and Evian were.
Yeah, okay. And did some individuals try to separate y'all?
My dad did what he thought he was doing by bumping up on me, thinking that he was stopping me. I thought we were fighting when you did that to me. And Evian and her dude, well, AB was yelling and arguing with her, telling her to chill out. So basically, he was addressing her, and my dad was addressing me. And the only way Raymanisha comes in is because my dad is bumping me so I could get away from Evian, so me and Evian could stop. But I'm thinking me and him are engaging and we're about to fight. And Raymanisha was like, okay, well, what was going on here? So that's how that goes.
That's how that goes. Okay, thank you. And you stated AB. Do you know that individual's true name?
Well, unfortunately, because of the situation, I have been familiar with his name.
So is that Avante Boyce?
Yes.
Okay. And we'll get to this part, but was that Avante Boyce the one that was shot that day?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when this physical altercation is going on with you and I call Evie, sorry.
Okay.
When that is going on, these individuals are trying to separate you and her, and Raymanisha is also trying to help to a degree. Are y'all ever separated?
Yeah, like I explained to you, at one point I feel like, because I guess my dad didn't want me to hurt Evian, is all I can get from, that's all I make from that. And he's boom, 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 bumping me, like trying to make me, so I'm literally thinking me and you about to fight, bro. Cause I'm not understanding what was going on.
But at some point, you got the females involved in this are separated, is that correct?
Yeah, but to be honest, Evian and I, like in that red car you just showed me, it was a back door separating us the whole time. So it wasn't ever like we were on combat. I was on one side of the door, she was on the other side of the car.
Judge, I am sorry, but I didn't catch that. It's too fast.
all right, if you can slow down a little bit.
And that's right.
You know I'm.
But let's just begin. The fact is where you just stated that you were on one side of the car door, Evie was on the other side.
No,
and
yeah,
she-
yeah. Yeah,
And she had a hold of you and y'all were,
and I was swinging out,
Okay. but there's separation by a car door at least.
yes, for the most part.
And then Mr. Vernon Dixon tried to separate y'all. Or trying to separate you.
I don't call that separate. I thought me and my daddy was about to engage in combat. So, but in his way, if that was the way, then okay.
Thanks for slowing down. I saw that. So when finally y'all are not in a physical thing with each other, is that right? And where does Evian go?
I want to say in the backseat with the baby, but I was fueling so I'm not just for sure, but I believe she went in the backseat with her baby.
And you stated something about a baby. Is that Avante, little Avante?
I believe so, yes.
And-
That day, I never saw the baby, but I was told, Avante was like, my baby's in the car, so I was like, oh, okay.
So he was telling you my baby's there.
He's told me once, yeah, my baby's in the car, like, he wasn't really, like, when me and Yavian were arguing, he was telling her basically, shut up, be quiet, like, what a dude's gonna tell this girl to quit the combat.
Okay. And then she gets in the backseat with baby.
No, she was, what are you asking me? Like, after we separate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Do you recall that?
I mean, just my natural instinct would think she might have gotten in the backseat or something, but for sure, I don't really, I
Okay.
wasn't watching her.
Okay, but then at some point, your father, Vernon Dixon, did he get in that vehicle?
The last time I saw my dad that day, I was looking him in the eyes. He was about to go. He was telling people to get out of his car. He was trying to drive off. And I had said to my sister Reminisha, when she was about to argue with Yavian again, I said, no, forget that. Because I felt like my daddy was like, it was my daddy and Yavian against me and my sister. So I was like, cool, forget that. And I looked my daddy in the eyes and I said, let daddy, that's his family now. Let him roll with Yavian. That's his daughter, that's his kids. I don't fuck with him no more. We don't fuck with him more. And that was that.
Okay,
I thought.
okay. And where was Vernon Dixon, your father, at that point? Was he in the vehicle or outside the vehicle?
He was in a car.
Was he in the passenger seat or the driver's seat?
It was the driver's side.
Okay, who was in the passenger seat?
That day, it was only three people and a baby in the car.
Okay, and so who were the three people?
My dad, Avante, and Yavian, and the baby.
And obviously, a shooting happened that day.
Correct.
And did you see the shooting?
I did not see the shooting because at that moment, as I told you, once I said what I said to my dad, I looked in his eyes. I could tell, like, I probably heard his feelings, and I couldn't bear to keep staring him, how I'm trying to stay
I'm
down.
sorry, Judge, I'm.
Gotta slow down.
Once I looked in my dad's eyes and I said what I said, I had just turned away from him. And I turned my back, I heard gunshots. I did not see who shot a gun.
When you,
Was that slow enough?
ma'am, just listen to.
All right, just a second. So I understand the emotions, but there's to be no conversation with the court reporter. Just listen to the question, ask it, speak at a normal pace. If you can speak the way I'm speaking right now, because believe it or not, she has to take down everything that everybody says. And when people are speaking extremely fast, that's asking a lot for somebody to do. State, ask your next question.
Thank you, Judge. Let me ask you this question. Did you ever see your father with a gun?
I'm trying to speak really slow. I did.
Oh, thank you very much for that. All right.
And do you recall what he did with that gun?
No.
Was that after the shooting?
Yeah, I didn't, prior to, I didn't know anyone had a gun.
But you saw him with the gun after the shooting?
Yes.
And your father that day? Was he wearing a white warm-up suit?
To be honest, up until that day, I actually thought he had on a black jacket until you showed me the video, and I was like, oh, he has on. But up until that day, I actually thought he had on a black.
And you're speaking of the video of the pavilion.
Yeah.
Of the vehicle out there that was shown to you, is that right?
Yes.
And were you able to identify your father on that?
Yeah, so it would identify myself.
Okay. We're gonna show you state exhibit number 9 and started at 154613. And do you see your father in this photo? I mean, this video? I'm sorry, but you just.
Yes, I did.
And is that your father in the white warm-up suit?
That's my dad.
And this is the same individual you said you saw with the gun after the shooting? That's a question.
Oh, okay.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes. I'm not gonna answer the same question over and over again. I told you that I did see my dad with a gun after the shooting.
Okay.
I did say that. Y'all heard me say that.
Thank you, ma'am. Is this you coming,
That is me, right? Yes, in the front.
and is that Remanisha?
Yes, that is.
And is this let's just say the physical altercation that you were speaking about? Just previously?
I guess so. Yeah, we're all engaging, we're all moving around.
Okay. And do you recall, you know who Pearl is, right?
Yes,
And she was there also?
okay.
Oh, no, that's a question, I'm sorry.
Oh, you see her car, yes.
Okay. And then you saw that individual that just ran out from.
That's
the-
Donald. Yep,
Is that Donald or Ray Ray?
yep.
And is he standing right there in the middle of that video talking to you?
Yes, because I'm explaining to him that everything is cool and nothing went like, it's not like we're fighting, everybody's fighting. It's all cool. And I was explaining to him it was between me and the Avion and my daddy. I felt like my daddy was tripping on me.
And at this point, nobody's been shot, no guns
No.
have been displayed. I'm gonna stop this and go to the next video. And it's gonna be starting at 15:49:53. You see the individual sort of crawling and then getting up and running off? Is that Avante Boyce?
Yes,
Is that after the shooting?
it has to be. I did not see Avante run off. The last time I seen Avante was under here. And once I heard the gunshots and we all splattered, and then I wound up going, I thought I was gonna go home and like be good, but once I reach to like my hallway area is where before I get there, I see blood, like drops of blood. And I'm like, oh, but I'm never thinking that, because once I just came out of this door, like maybe 20 minutes ago, there was no anything. So once I go home, I'm thinking I'm going back home. And before I could reach my door, that's where I found him. And I'm about to dial 911. And then that's when Yevion is like, she has a baby in the back. I'm trying to like help her with the baby, and she swings. And I'm trying to help her grab the baby, and she's like kind of I don't know if we're in me. I think maybe because she's still in I don't know, but I'm like, okay, at this point, we're not fighting. And I'm like, okay, let me help you with the baby. And she's like, no. And I'm like,
So, okay, okay, sorry, I just want to slow you down. I know that you talk a lot faster than I do too.
I talk fast like you guys defended.
All right. So that day you state that you go to your apartment of where you
I was
live,
about to, yeah.
you're about to, and that's where you see or find Avante Boyce.
And yeah, and the baby and somebody else, I don't know.
Okay, and somebody else was there?
A girl, I don't know.
Okay. And he's there. Did you see if he was bleeding or not bleeding?
For the most part, I saw like droplets of blood, and I'm just hearing the little girl and the baby are crying. Yavion and the baby are just screaming and crying. So it's one of those things that I'm about like.
Okay. I'm gonna to listen to state exhibit number 10.
Are you talking about me calling into my office? 'Cause-
I'm sorry.
okay.
All right, I'm gonna have you listen to this voicemail and tell me if you can identify voices on it, okay?
Okay.
And
That's my dad. Don't come on.
okay, I have to ask questions. It has to be for the record. So you stated that's your dad. Are you referring to the voice on that voicemail?
In the crying, yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Adam LaHood. I'm a defense attorney. I just have a few questions for you, okay?
Would I be able to ask you a question?
No, ma'am. Unfortunately,
Okay.
it's all one way.
Okay.
But if you don't understand the question of mine, please stop and let me know. You said that day you did not witness a shooting,
That's what I just told the state, yes.
but you heard a gunshot.
Yes. I heard one gunshot, yes, I did. I have also been told that there were 2 or several other shots, but I heard one gunshot, that's it.
So personally, you heard one gunshot, but you did not see the shooter.
No.
How many people approximately were under the pavilion by the car during the scuffle that was going on?
Approximately, I don't know.
This one. If you can remember, ma'am, can you tell us who all was there that day, including yourself? And we're talking obviously under the pavilion by the car.
If you show me like maybe like
Just one moment. Yeah, just 1 second, ma'am. Well, we're gonna put it up. We're gonna get that up in just a second for you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We can get
Yeah, we're gonna spin up the video for you just a second now. You said that your dad bumped into you and you thought that you were about to fight.
I did not say he bumped into me. I said he was bumping up on me.
Okay. Was he trying to separate you during the fight, or do you know what?
To
was
his
going on?
knowledge, he might have been, but in my mind, at that time, I felt like me, my dad, and the Evian were engaging in contact.
Were tensions high that day?
Yes, it was.
Are you nervous or upset being in court here this afternoon with us?
I'm in court, to be honest, because a child died. I have kids, and at the end of the day, as a mother, you have to do what you have to do for other mothers. That's why I'm here. Mad how?
Yes, ma'am. Just one second, we're gonna get a photo up for you.
Up there.
Got my approach?
Yes.
Thank you. And we're looking at timestamp showing 15:47:14. It may be easier to look on the screen right there next to you, but whichever you're more comfortable with. With the highlighter, can you point out the start? You see a picnic table up near the front? And you see a gentleman's, or it looks like a gentleman staying to the left of that table?
I'm gonna be real honest with you. The best I seen this video was in the state's office. What are you trying to ask me? Because I'm
We're just,
confused.
what we're trying to identify, ma'am, is if you can point out for us who is who. We have what I would say are some blurry images of people. We're just trying to figure out
Okay,
who these people are and where they are.
for the most part, this is a neighborhood where it's a whole bunch of random people. As I told you, I could identify the people who I know, which were the family members such as myself, my dad, my sister, Evian. I could identify Avante, of course, and like you said, the Donald and the baby, and of course Juicy or my grandmother. But all that, I don't know
Okay, some people in there that you're not sure who they are?
for sure.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, we'll pass the witness.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Is this witness subject for recall?
Not by the state.
No, Your Honor.
The rule has been invoked. That means that you can't discuss your testimony with anyone. The only persons you're allowed to speak to are attorneys for the state or the defense. Do you understand? That's yes or no?
Yeah.
All right, you may step down. All right, could I see the parties?